Hi guys, I'm going to do another video today. The first one you may or may not see. It's where I attempt to make these little rain bells, I think is what they call them. And although I learned quite a bit about it, I call it pretty much a failure. But in that video, and that's what sparked this one, to do the spring wires, and that's what prompted me to do this video, is I saw a bunch of these flags when I was getting some supplies, you know, these yard flags. And I know they do bend, but they're also pretty damn springy. So I think there's some spring steel, some carbon in those flags. So in the process of making the bells, it didn't work very well, but I did forge weld the end together. And now that I've decided I'm not going to use these wires for those bells, I got all of this wire that I wonder what the heck it does. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and try forge welding a piece of this up and see what it looks like. Hey, you know, it'd be like cable, except it's not going to be twisted. So are we going to just end up with long, straight patterns? I don't know. So let's give that a try. What the hell? What else we got to do besides get ready for a show in a few hours? Bye. No, not bye. Come back soon. I mean, like, hold tight. Might as well experiment as we go. Normally in this situation I'd weld these ends together, but I've heard and I've had, oh, I thought I tempered this. No, wow, look at that. So I threw that in the fire and I tempered it, and then I just quenched it a little bit. I didn't realize that I would re-harden that. So that's a good indication that this wire does have some carbon in it. But I was going to wrap it around here and tie it up with wire. Let me go see if I can find some other wire. If I have any other wire. Man, this is turning out to be one of those days. So I just went through and retempered it. I just didn't quench the thing when I got done. So I'm going to wrap this sucker a couple of times, especially on the end here. I think once we get past the end, I think we'll be able to keep it mostly together. We're going to tighten that up. Come on, you didn't cross. And son of a bitch broke on me again. There we go. That's something. Hopefully we can get a forge weld before that breaks or melts. I'll do that, and I'll do another section up here in the middle. Again, I've never tried this method. Normally I'm not working with such small stuff, but normally I would just weld that in to give me a good start. But let's go ahead, because we all need to learn stuff, that's for sure. We'll just wrap up a good section of this and see what we get. I know it can be done because I've heard of people doing it. So there we have it. Alright, so we got our bundle. I think about 10 more wraps would be a good idea, but we're going to see what happens. We'll go ahead and get this, you know, try not to get this wire up into forge welding temperature so it melts off before we get a good compression here. So just that end, we're going to see what we can do about getting up to heat. Live and learn. Throughout this video, I'm gonna tell you I'm going in to get more flux. All right, I'm not gonna take you every time because I'm sure we're gonna need to do it quite often. So just because a lot of you guys skip around, don't skip this part. When I flux, I use borax. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and dump some borax on it every time that I go back for a weld. So when I say I'm fluxing, I'm using borax. You can find it in the laundry aisle, except for overseas. I guess it's like illegal or something overseas. I don't know why, but when I say flux, yeah, that's what I mean. I see that. This is just like those bandsaw blades. Even though that outside looks like it's hot and ready to go, we gotta let everything soak. We gotta bring it all up to temperature, so even that inner core is at the right temperature. So if I had come out, it looked pretty darn good at that time. That core was still not where I wanted it to be. There, we're gonna throw some flux on it, right on the end. Try to let that encapsulate as much of that end as possible. Let's hope it does. You go into the fire for that first forge welding temperature. I hope. What I'm doing is I'm not putting a whole lot of air on it. The fire is in pretty good shape, but I'm rotating it so that I don't get those outer wires on one side too hot. I'm trying to bring not only the entire round, but also the inside up to forge welding temperature. Now I see that I'm there, but I don't trust it yet, so I'm going to just kind of back off a little bit. I'll sacrifice a few of the outside ones on this one. We have fireflies, but I know I'm not where I want to be. I'm just going to let that soak, actually. I mean, it's darn it. Where are you? It looks good. Maybe I was there. Let's go bring it up. I'll get the camera where I want it to be. And we'll give it a try. Again, just that one time, pull it out, let it kind of cool down a little bit, as long as that flux is still on there and not allowing any contamination inside. I think we're okay. But now I'm rolling it again, just bringing it right back to where I had it. Again, this is pretty tricky because it's such thin stuff. I hope it doesn't just split out on me. We're almost up. I don't know whether I should use upsetting hits or just straight on hits, but I know one thing about it. When I get out here, it's not going to be slow and it ain't going to be hard. We are just about where I want to be. A little more than I want to be. You ready? Let's see what we end up with. I think that's it. I don't think you want to go any farther. Okay? Really cleaned out here. It doesn't look horrible at the beginning. Let's go for a flux to protect that a little bit more. And then the next weld will be a little bit more aggressive. And again, all I'm trying to do is like that first inch. From there, I can be a little bit more aggressive. I can lose a wire every once in a while. I don't want to, but of course I'm going to. It's too thin. But maybe take, you know, a couple of inches at a time. So I'll be back for that second weld. I'm just going to bring the next set up. There's still flux in that area, so we'll compact that. Alright, I think we are okay on the end. I would like one more, but the amount of abuse I'm going to have to give it, I'd rather pick up another section here. It doesn't look horrible, so I'm going to flux. I'm going to flux the next, let's say about 2 inches. Definitely want to make sure that that end is involved in this next heat up to forge welding, because again, I don't feel like I'd rather do one more weld on that end. So if I hit there and it's not at forge welding temperature, I could cause some splitting. But we'll bring up that next section. Do about grabbing another section. Right, so that flip was too slow and I ended up having a couple pieces coming out. I should have, those first 3 hits and then the flip and those next 3 hits should have been much faster. But I think we can recover if we clean her up. So let's go ahead, back to the flux for Chandler. And we'll be a little more aggressive on that and a little quicker on those hammer strokes. I mean, I just passed my 3-year anniversary, 3rd year since I picked up a hammer. Any forge weld is just magic to me still. And I've done a few of them, which I'm pretty proud of. But it's just, you know, it's a science that a machine can do. Go figure. But we're going to take our time and see what we can come up with. Hold tight. This time, I'm not horribly hating it. I'm not totally liking it either. Alright, let's go ahead. Let's move up a section. I'm not able to get the heat I want in the area that I want without being so hot up here that I worry about melting. So I'm going to take this wire off because it's in my way of rolling. I think I am anyway. What the hell, children? And and then we're going to come up here and we're going to consolidate another couple of inches, all right, and then come back and see if we can get that into a real weld done. Again, up in this section where I haven't welded or attempted to weld, I'm going to try to get that compacted. Fortunately, there's been flux up in that area. So if I can go ahead and trap a weld here, I think I can fill in those welds up front. That's the plan anyway. Tricky stuff with this little freaking wire. I'll tell you. Tapping off this end. Oh, you see it splitting down through there. Son of a bitch. Alright, so we got those strands that are splitting down through there. That sucks, the big one. They will probably continue to split. But let's get aggressive. Like they didn't have cheerleaders anymore in school. There was a cheer when I was in school. Not that I was a cheerleader, but I spent a lot of time looking at them, I'll tell you. It says B-E, aggressive. B-E-A-G-G-R. Yes, we're going to be aggressive on this next weld. Wish me luck. Alright, check around. Anybody's smoking? Nobody's smoking. Where's my brush go? Alright, everybody's okay. My air hose not too far away. I should move that. Don't look too bad. Don't look too bad at all. Let me go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and go in, because I have one striation there. And let's go ahead. We're going to clean it up. This is tricky stuff, man, I'll tell you. It's dang well better pay off. We'll flux it again. Show a little cold to be fluxed. And we'll smack her one more time, see what we get. Our core is doing pretty well, so I've gone back to the 2-pound hammer. I'm just going to go ahead and clean things up if I can. Damn it, roll. It looks good, but it could have just folded in, you know? That feels good under the brush. Holy cow, you can feel it when it's smooth. Well, that might have done the trick, I'll tell you. Might have done the trick. Alright, let's grab the next inch here. That'll help identify. I'm going to grab this next inch or so. If we split out up here, we know we're not where we want to be. I don't hate it, I mean. Inch or so of this thing. Now it's splitting out. Alright, I hit here. I wanted to hit there. Shit went flying all the way across the room. I don't like that. So now I got to do a tour of duty. We're going to wire brush this up, and I'm going to try again in this area here to forge it back up. What we can do for a cleanup weld here. Damn trapezoidal shape. I want to hit there. Trapezoidal shapes. Alright. I have very low confidence in this weld. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead one more time in this same area with the 3-pounder and be aggressive about it, and then we'll nip that off. We'll shape it into a knife. We'll see what it looks like. Do or die. That's it. You're either welded or you're not. We're about to find out. So that's our billet. Yeah, cut and fold, cut and fold. I'm going to cut and just shape it into something that looks like a knife. Just because I want to see. This is the weakest part, way that this thing would be right now. If I cut and fold, I would strengthen it. I want to see what happens just at that point. So I'm going to nip it off here. I don't want to mess with the end, and I'll nip it off here where I think I have a decent weld, and I'll be back. There she's cut up. I'm going to go ahead and throw her in the forge, and we will shape it into something, a small knife, and see what it looks like. Let's just go ahead and start working this out. Not exactly sure what direction I'm going, but I want something that looks like a knife. I hate that move because a lot comes out in the wash when you start putting that edge on there. It certainly does. Mind grinding that off though. Ain't gonna be much of a knife, but I see striations. I don't know if it's just delimit, or if it's the pattern showing, or if it's not a good thing. But we'll keep going. We'll see what happens. As much width as possible here. And I'm not trying to put a taper on the blade or not much of one. Just trying to get some width out there. And then we'll grind that bevel in. Once we get to where we're happy-ish. More blade, I think. I think that's about all we can expect. Boy, I hope that tip doesn't delaminate on me. And not much of a bevel here. Alright, what I'll do now is I'll drop the blade and then just draw out this tang a little. Again, it's not going to be much of a knife, but it'll show what we've got anyway. Find a decent spot on the anvil to drop that right about there. I'm okay with that. Gives us something to look at anyway. See, flux bubbling out, it makes me nervous. I don't mind a failure as long as we learn something from it. And again, those of you that are experts, go ahead and educate me using that fine wire to try to do what I did without a canister or something like that. I mean, is that a pretty high level challenge to do, or should it have worked well and I'm an idiot? I don't mind knowing those things. If you've done it, if you've only read about it or watched a freaking video of it, then don't answer. But if you've actually done it, tell me. Otherwise, then I'm doing tests. But for this tang, we'll at least get it the same thickness as the blade. Stretch it out a little bit. You'd be surprised, that little knife that I made with the bandsaw blades at the shows, people go nuts over that. I could have sold that knife 100 times. Ultimately, I did sell it. A couple of guys, I think from Massachusetts, stopped in to say hi, and how can I not let a fan have something that was done on a video? So as much as I didn't really want to sell that knife, that one walked away. So now I need to make some more. A little thick in the tang so we can add some length. To it. Hating that. A little bit of shape, save some grinding time. I'm just going to put a couple of waves in here on the anvil. her finger grips is kind of what I did with that other knife. Then we'll get her straight and we'll see what we end up with. Just put some shape in this. Come on now, don't slip out of those tongs yet. Yeah, I like that. A little character to the knife. Put those shapes in a little deeper on the grinder. So they don't sacrifice the spine. Alright, let's heat this sucker up. We'll get her straight. And by golly, we will anneal this thing a few times. Anneal. We will normalize this thing a few times. Start cleaning up here a little bit. Better late than never, right? It doesn't look like a horrible looking little knife. Let's get everything where we want it to be. As close as a blind man can do it anyway. It doesn't look bad. No, it doesn't look bad. Alright. So this one we're going to normalize 3 times. In an expedited way. I'm not going to wait till it's cold, but I'm going to go ahead and normalize it a couple times. We'll move this damn pig. You see, you think I have all the room in the world? Check it out. Pig. Right there. Goddamn pig. Someday that sucker's going to be gone. Electronics are in New York City right now, so hopefully... Don't melt your knife, Jim. Hopefully... by the end of the weekend, or by Monday, the electronics will be here. I'm just brushing off my thing. How's my hat look? And assuming the electronics do what they want them to do, so I don't have to reprogram it. Not reprogram it, redesign it. Let that anneal. Sucker be gone soon. Hey! Normalize this sucker a few times, 3 times to be exact. I'm going to hit it on the grinder. I won't bother taking you with me on this one, and we will see what we end up with here quick. That's a quick grind. So there's the flat grind on it. Everything looks good except I see a couple of lines. Let's see if you can see them. There's one here. There's one right in front of it. I think those will grind out. They don't look very structural. I think it's something that isn't bad at all. So it looks good so far. I'll go ahead and grind the profile in, or the edge in, the bevel, and we'll etch this thing, and that's where we'll stop the video just to get an idea of what's going on. But so far it looks like the forge weld was good. Alright, here's the rough bevel. Damn, I still, shitty job. It just drives me nuts to spend that kind of time into a knife and then be biting up too far. It's all on the process. It's time to rebuild everything. I mean, not... yeah, almost everything, because I got some knives that need to be done in a little better quality. But anyway, it's all for the point of the weld. Everything looks pretty good. Like I said, there's a couple of little spots here, and then we got that. Can you see it in there? Those don't look so good, but I don't know how deep they go. But anyway, let's clean this thing up, and then we'll go ahead and etch it. We'll see what it looks like. Call it a video. Forge welding, you know, with practice, I think it's a dangerous game to play with that thin stuff, but so far things look pretty good, with exceptions. Ferrichloric, oh my god, I'm so tired I can't say it. Ferrichloric acid. Same, you can get a Radio Shack for etching PC beads or PC boards. We'll throw that in there. Oh, we almost sink to the bottom. Almost sink to the bottom. Well, we'll try to keep that bottom in there, but you can already see what we're going to end up with. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's let that set for about 5 minutes or so and see how it looks. We're going to call this journey done. Very, very cool pattern. You see it in there? I got behind some more light here, maybe you can see it up here. Very, very nice. It reminds me of the underside of a whale's mouth, you know, the white fatty lines. So it's very, very cool. Which is probably what we, you know, what else would we have expected? We kept those lines pretty straight. So I'd call that a hata. I think you call that a hata pattern where none of them intersect. So I think it's nice looking knife. I took what was left of the part that I forged welded, quenched it, or brought up to critical and quenched it in cold. And yeah, nah. We're not getting a very good hardness there at all. So in the end, very cool pattern. Not the steel you want to use to make a knife, that's for sure, or not a not a great knife. Anyway, I certainly get a harder edge out of a railroad spike, that's for sure. But it must have some particular type of car, you know, it's got something, because it does have a springiness to it. But there you have it. Using cable strands, maybe taking a cable and straightening it out rather than tightening it, and then forge welding it together, you know, a good decent cable. But there's a pattern that you get out of a bunch of strands of steel, forge welded together, not twisted, not folded or anything like that. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was an interesting challenge because, again, those of you guys that are experts, to take this kind of thin material and be able to forge weld it with, I'd say, some pretty damn good success. There was a couple of spots that concerned me, but I don't see them as much with the etched in there now. Yeah, right, a couple you can see. Actually, the camera shows them really well, right here and here. I don't see them with my eyes, but I'd be blind. But I'm not, that isn't horrible. I don't think that's bad at all. All right, you guys, take it easy. Hope you enjoyed the show. Probably I wouldn't use that for a great knife, because it just doesn't seem to be taking a hardness like I want. Mixing that stuff in with some good cable steel or something might be a good idea. Give her a try. We'll catch you on the next time. Catch you on the next one. Catch you on the next one. Makes sense. That is a, I don't know, what do you call these things? Marker flags forged welded into a billet for a knife. Ciao. If you found this video helpful, educational, maybe even if you just found it entertaining, and you want to support me, you can jump back to my channel. There's a button on the right hand side of the screen called support, and it's kind of like a tip jar. You can go ahead and leave a tip for this video, and that'll help me make some more, I guarantee. Thanks for your support, as always.